In this channel, we only like to upgrade. We've done the C300 and we had to do better. We got this.
This is a Mercedes C63 AMG, and we are currently just fangirling over this vehicle already.
Yeah, we haven't even tested it, but we just love it. So the rest of the film might be a bit biased, but stay along.
Yeah, but biased opinions are always good.
Usually we start with the exterior of this car, but I want to start with something very special. The engine. So I'm gonna pop the boot open.
Now, let's see how our professional reviewer opens this in one go.
Why is he touching shit? I can do this, I can do this. There you go, and moment of truth. Hold on. No, not again.
Looks like he chokes under pressure.
This keeps happening way too much. Oh, there you go. It only took me 3 seconds, just like everything else. Anyway, let's start with the engine. So this is a 4-liter bi-turbo V8 which produces 503 horsepower and 700 Newton meters from the factory itself. But this car has a stage 2 tune, we'll get to that in a bit. Starting with the engine bay. So the engine bay is actually cramped because they fit a V8 in here and literally there's not even a space to put my fingers in. I just put my fingers into a very hard engine, that was stupid. Anyway, let's talk about the drivetrain. So this car gets rear wheel drive and an MCT 7-speed gearbox, not a dual clutch, but it gets a MCT, which is a multi-clutch transmission. It's not as good as a DSG, but it's still good. It's what Mercedes has. So this car gets a stage 2 tune, so it now produces 530 horsepower and 720 Newton meters of torque. So if the engine wasn't powerful enough, it's got a stage 2 tune, and yes, it's for sale.
And now let's talk about the lineup of this vehicle. So when you look at the vehicles Mercedes has built, the C300 is first, and then you follow with the C43 and the C63, which is this, and then you go with the C63S. Now,
no, which is
one important
C63S, sorry. Yeah. I gotta fix him.
And now one important thing about this vehicle is this is the last V8 that is put into a Mercedes, because the new vehicles come with a 4-cylinder, which I think Dinuk and I already prefer a V8. And
yeah, I mean,
who doesn't prefer a V8 in their vehicles? Like, come on.
Yeah. And the competition.
About the competitors, we have the M4.
Yep.
And if you go with Audi, we have the RS4. Five.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's well about 5.
But I think we're gonna go with the biased opinions, and I think this is much better.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Audi, but I'm sorry, but this looks amazing, and the sound. We'll get to that in a bit. Oh, we can actually put that in here because this is the engine bit. Yeah. This sounds amazing. Just listen to this.
Let me just put my mic underneath the freaking exhaust so we get a bit more
this is a startup.
Noise cancelling.
Just wow. Gavin, you know a cool thing?
Who wouldn't like that?
It doesn't have a rev limiter.
Well,
we haven't even filmed this car yet, but we just love it. Anyway, let's move on.
And that's the end of the video. That's a 10 from me.
Okay, now for the exterior. Let's start with the grille. So this is a pre-facelift edition. That's why the front grille is horizontal, whereas the newer one is vertical, but it still looks amazing. Let's move on to the hood of the car. So it is long because it houses the massive V8, and one of the favorite features of the car, its front light. It's just gorgeous, literal gorgeous. And this is the daddy of the C300 Coupe, and it just looks much better. So this and the C300 Coupe should look similar, but no, this has gone wider and lower. It just looks perfect, literal perfection. And let's move on to the front bumper. So it does get the, I would call this the blob design AMG pack, because this and the CL AMG has like a kind of like a blob fish kind of look. I don't know if you see the similarity, but I do, because it's a bit, I don't know how to explain it, but it just looks like a blob fish. But it looks absolutely amazing, absolutely amazing. I mean, just look at the front of this car. There's a daytime running light, it's full black, it's literally the Batman spec, and it just looks quite phenomenal. That's how you pronounce the word, Gavin.
Phenomenal.
Phenomenal. And I forgot to mention one thing. It's also got the AMG badge here. And now let's move on to the side. Now at the side you can quite literally realize that this is the coupe version. So there's multiple versions of this car. You get the coupe, you get the sedan, you get the wagon. I'm interested in the wagon because I like wagons. And you also get the convertible coupe, but honestly I think this just looks the best out of all of them. So let's start with the badging. So you get the V8 bi-turbo badge right here. It's blacked out as well, so all of the badges in this car is blacked out. So is the chrome. There's no chrome on the car, it's all blacked out. And black wheels as well. So this is what I call the Batman spec. Black wheels, black, well, no, not black chrome, but no chrome, black paint, triple black, Batman edition. It just looks quite amazing. You get 19 inches at the front and 20 inches at the back. And these are the AMG wheels, which were developed in a wind tunnel to make it more aerodynamic. So I'm pretty sure they're quite light as well. And one of the coolest features, the hubcaps is a center lock. It doesn't have the individual, what do you call it? Kevin, what do you call it? The individual ones? No idea. No, the other things you screw in.
Oh, the bolts.
Yes, it doesn't have individual bolts, it's just one central lock. And yeah, just like the Formula 1 cars, it just looks, it's just, this car is so special. We just love it. The body lines, now that we changed the camera angle, you can notice that it comes out like this, and we all love that figure. I'm sorry, but it's just in us, like we're human, we like that. Anyway, let's move on. The car also gets a side skirt. It's not that aggressive, but it is there. And the body lines of this car, it's just amazing. I mean, just look at that. We thought the C300 looked good, and we saw this drive up, and just wow, just it's the most beautiful thing I've seen. It's just like literal, we love it. Now at the back, one of my favorite features of this car is this badge. So it is blacked out, all the badges are blacked out except for the S badge. It has a red background and it just looks amazing. And let's move on to the lower bit of the car. It does get a diffuser, which is quite cool because it looks amazing, and it does get quad exhaust at the back, and you can see the AMG badge here. I'm not gonna touch it because it's probably, no, it's not that hot. Why do I do this? Anyway, let's move on. It does get a boot lid spoiler as well, and one of the favorite features of this car is the tail lights are a bit blacked out. There is a, what do you call it, a black tint on the rear lights, but it looks, I didn't like it when I saw it on the pictures, but in person it just makes sense. It just blends in with the car and it looks quite amazing. And if you, I'm not too sure if you can see this in the camera, but we'll insert a clip anyway. The car's rear end is just, for lack of a better word, thick. The car's rear end is thick, and overall the design of this car is a 10. This is the first car that I've given a 10 to. It probably is. It just looks amazing. This car just looks lovely, especially in this color, in this paint, in this spec. It looks amazing. So overall, exterior is a 10.
Okay, now looking at the interior of this vehicle. The center panel of this vehicle is full carbon fiber, which gives the vehicle a bit more of a modern, nice look. The instrumental cluster is also with carbon fiber. There's AMG badgings on the steering, there's AMG badges on the center, there's AMG badges on the seats and also on the door. Now let's talk about the seats of this vehicle. You can see that these seats are very nicely designed, and it's sitting in it's quite firm and it's nice. And you can see the two-tone on it. These seats are heated seat, it's not cold, and it's also electronically adjustable. So this is where you can adjust all the seat settings, and there's 3 memory selects. Another fact that I forgot to mention is these seats, although these are bucket seats, these seats are very luxury. It gives you yet the luxury feel, but also the feel of driving a very sporty vehicle. So now let's talk about the interior storage space. The storage space over here, the storage space over here, the storage space in the cabin, and the storage space for plenty on the doors. And to get in the back seat, you just pull this lever and it automatically comes to the front. And just look how remarkable these seats are, just beautiful. And we are going to test out me getting into the back on this because I got tired after doing the C300.
Okay, so let's talk about the tech within this car. Let's start with the driving mode. So if you look here, this is where you get the dynamic settings. So this is where you can control your car's driving settings. Let's start with the comfort mode. So comfort mode, you get sport, you get sports plus, you also get race. So with the different modes, the exhaust does change. And let's move on to something very special, the individual. So if you go to individual, you can adapt different settings. So you can adjust the suspension, transmission, exhaust, traction control, and the driving response as well. So all of this can be controlled on individual mode, and everything has to be controlled via the dials here, which is okay because this is not a touchscreen. I don't want to get my fingerprint on there, but that's not a touchscreen, which is a bit annoying, but everything can be controlled by here and it's not too hard, so that's good. Now let's talk about the steering wheel adjustment. So you gotta adjust your steering wheel using this lever here. It is electronically adjustable, which is good because this car is literally a luxury muscle car. That's why you get all of these luxury features that you don't usually get in an American car. And let's move on back to the center console. If you look at the buttons on this, you can see that this is how you adjust the suspension settings, and you also have a very interesting button. If you come over to this side, you can look at this button over here. That's to control your exhaust, so you can open and close your valves. So the instrumental cluster is not fully digital. It gets 2 analog dials and a digital screen in the middle, and all of that can be controlled via the buttons here. And one of my favorite features of this car is that all the driver settings can be controlled by here. Well, it's not settings, but kind of features. You get lane keep assist, you get a full 360 camera, so if you press that, it's going to pop up here, which is quite amazing. And does have lane keep assist, adaptive cruise control, and all of the gambits. And also you get a blind spot monitor, as you can see the triangle over there. So overall, the tech in this car is pretty amazing. And what's even better is, I've just forgot to mention that Gavin probably mentioned this, the heads-up display. So that's a pretty cool touch. When you rev it, you can see the rev limiter go up as well. So overall, tech and interior wise, this is one beautiful car. Okay, let's talk about the cool features of this car. Starting with my favorite is the performance exhaust. So you don't have to pay extra to get the performance exhaust. It comes as standard, and I'm just gonna leave this under here and let you hear it. So let's start with starting the car. Okay, so that's with the valves open. Let's close the valves. Okay, valves are closed. I'm just gonna rev it. I'm gonna open the valve. Moving on to the second coolest thing is the kick to open boot. So let's just kick it to open, and something we learned from the C300, you can kick to close it as well. There you go. So that's why we consider this a luxury muscle car. A cool feature about the engine itself, not the fact that it's very powerful and it has a stage 2 tune, it has something very special. Okay, oh, it's hot. Anyway, so if you look here, it says it's handcrafted by, it says handcrafted by that guy, by Mercedes-AMG in Germany. And a cool feature that the C300 had as well, if you start the car, and you can press a button here. Let me just close the door. It will give you your seatbelt, so convenience. Now let's move on to the annoying.
The very first annoying feature about this vehicle is that they got a small Mercedes sign on the windscreen, and that's a bit tacky. And the next annoying factor, just like the C300, for a vehicle that's quite highly priced, the infotainment system is not touchscreen, so they could have done a better job in that. And another annoying feature about this vehicle is, since it has long doors, if you're parked close to another vehicle, it's going to be quite hard for you to get down. Just like Dinuk mentioned that this vehicle has a kick to open boot, if you do not have the key, which Dinuk has, you cannot open it. So you have to manually go inside and open the boot, which I need to find. Well, let's just insert that clip. It's here. Oh!
Okay, so let's go for a drive in the C63S. Let's start in comfort mode. So we can select the modes from here. Select comfort. Okay, when you jump on the comfort mode, the exhaust does get quieter. And that's a good thing, because when you're on comfort mode, you don't want the car to be too loud. And let's just pull in. Okay, let's go. Starting with throttle response. So when you're on comfort mode, the throttle isn't very aggressive, which is good because that's what you want. The exhaust, even though the valves are closed, is a bit loud. And the suspension, it is hard. It's not as soft as a BMW luxury line, not the M line, but a luxury line. It is not as soft as that, but overall on comfort mode, the car isn't too shaky and the cabin noise is actually very quiet apart from the exhaust noise. But we're not gonna complain about that. Okay. Steering is a bit heavy on comfort mode and throttle is still kind of aggressive because the second you rev up to like 2000 RPM it still goes. And overall on comfort mode it's okay. It's not the most comfiest car because this is not made for comfort. This is made to be the ultimate track car. So let's test that. Let's jump onto sports mode. It is easy because all you gotta do is just go into the center panel and then choose. Not Sport Plus, we're gonna go on Sport. Okay, we're on Sport and we were driving before. It's crazy. It is literally crazy. Alright, let's go. Starting with acceleration. These roads are a bit windy, so we're gonna be very careful given that this guy is very tail happy. So acceleration is quite good on sport mode. There is another mode called race, but we're not going to jump onto that just to be safe and to be respectful to the owner. So acceleration, holy Moses, there's a lot of bikers today. Acceleration is crazy. Woo! God damn, acceleration is absolutely brutal. And moving on to steering, because we are on a windy road today, which is good. This is what this car was made for. So yeah, steering is good, but you can literally tell that the rear of this car is very slidable, so it's very tail happy. If you take traction out of the picture, you'll either be ending up in a tree, or if you can control the car, you'll be a very good drifter. But I'm just gonna leave traction control on. I'm not gonna play around too much. And the steering is quite phenomenal. It gets to the corners pretty well, and we've tested multiple systems in this road. We've tested the quattro all-wheel drive system, we've tested other rear-wheel drive cars, even the Mustang, and this keeps up with the all-wheel drive systems, which is quite amazing. And another thing that I wanted to test is the transmission. So let's jump onto manual mode. Okay, second gear, third gear, fourth gear. It is pretty quick, so let's just check after we get through these corners. Oof, steering is absolutely amazing. It's amazing, honestly. For a rear-wheel drive car with this much power, it's great. Okay, the gearbox. Third gear, fourth gear, fifth, sixth, seventh. Shift pretty fast. It's pretty quick when it comes to shifting. Okay, now we're on 7th gear. Let's shift down. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Woo-hoo! Oh my god. Just wow. Just wow. There's no other words, just wow. And the last thing is the suspension on sports mode. So it is stiffed. It is stiffened up compared to comfort mode, but it's not too hard, which is quite good. And overall, I gotta say, even driving on this car, we keep testing cars and we say, well, we tested the RS3 and we said that that car was a 10, but this just does it better. It's so much better than the RS3, probably because it got more power, but overall, driving, it's a 10 for me. It is just beautiful, literally beautiful. This car is so well engineered, and given that this car has the stage 2 tune as well, it's got a bit more power and torque, and you can especially feel the torque when you're driving because there's 730 Newton meters, so it's crazy. This car is just crazy. So driving experience, 10 out of 10. Okay, final thoughts of the C63S AMG. Gavin, you can start.
Well, it's a 1.
It's a 1?
It's a 1.
It's a 1.
Yeah, it's a 1 plus 9. It's a perfect score. I think this is the, like you said, not being biased, but to be biased as well. This is one of the best cars we've driven, one of the most powerful cars we've driven,
Yeah.
and it's an absolute machine.
Yep.
It's fucking good.
Beautiful as well. Just beautiful.
It's just good.
Okay. Are you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Are you done?
I'm done.
Are you okay. So my thoughts, I think the car looks quite gorgeous, and especially in this color, triple black paint, black wheels,
The
black
Batmobile.
chrome. Well, not black chrome, but there's no chrome. And driving, oh my god, just we keep testing cars and we always think, okay, that's the pinnacle, that's what
We think
it is.
we made it. We still haven't made it as yet.
Yeah,
But
we think we made it, we think we've driven a good car, and then we test a better car next week, and we're just like, okay, this is it. And as of right now, this is one of the best cars I've driven. Actually, this is the best car I've
this is the
driven.
most powerful vehicle we've driven so
Yep,
far.
I've driven the RSQ8, but this is just better because this is lighter, and overall the experience is a 10 out of 10. And yes, this car is for sale for $135,000. You get all of this. It has a stage 2 tune, and it is a bisexual turbo. No, just kidding. It's a bi-turbo, which means the placement of the turbos are different, but it's stage 2, 530 horsepower, 720 newton meters of torque. Overall, quite an amazing car. It's perfect condition, and it's very low kilometers. It's only got 28,000. Black badges everywhere, and it's just the most beautiful car I've seen. And anything to add to that?
Now, you said it all.
Yep.
Just look at it. It's perfect.
Yeah, it's perfection. Heads-up display, loaded with tech. Watch the whole review if you didn't. If you skipped to this, just watch it. Trust me, watch it.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's where we'll leave it. If you want to buy this car, just drop us a message. We'll hook you up with the owner, and we can go from there.
Yeah.
Subscribe, and better cars coming up. Hopefully.
Not hopefully. We shall have some good cars coming.